It's called. He gets inside the 20. It's called back because of a holding penalty. The Browns end up punting at the end of that series. Back comes Chicago, goes down and throws a Hail Mary touchdown to Alshon Jeffries. And Tayshaun Gibson had 2 picks in that game, one for a touchdown. And instead of playing man, he's thinking, oh, I've got pick number 3, and it sails into Alshon Jeffries. It looked like a Hail Mary that was completed. And that to me, was the ball game. That was the backbreaker right there.
All right, let's go. First of all, we want to let you know how you can get involved in the show. Of course, we've got T-shirts to give away. If you want to Skype in, it's DAWGS on the Run, DAWGS on the Run, and we'll hit you on the Wayside Furniture Skype hotline. But you can call in, too, at 216-431-3820. 216-431-3820. We're talking about yesterday's Browns game. We're also looking ahead towards the future a little bit here as well. Let's go to our Skype line, and we're joined by Kenny Rhoda, the 3rd member of our team. Hi, Kenny. How you doing today?
Trying to stay warm, guys, but the sun will come up, I think, in Cleveland today somewhere, and it's another day, and you get over another blown 4th quarter lead, 3rd week in a row. I heard you guys talking about it. I was looking at it 3 weeks ago. It was Jacksonville with 3:55 left. The Browns were up. Their defense, the game was handed to them. They couldn't close the deal. They Jose Mesa'd it then. Last week, of course, they're up by 12 points with 2:39 to go against the New England Patriots on the road. They blow that one. And then yesterday, yeah, it was a little bit longer, 13 minutes left to go in the game, but they still held the lead again at home. 2 out of these 3 are at home. And Ray Horton's defense unable to get the job done, and that's 3 consecutive losses when they had 4th quarter leads. Just it's tough to watch. It really is.
Kenny, let me ask you this. What does it say about Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, it makes you wonder now, right? We heard so many good things and about how aggressive they were going to be, and it looked good early when they were getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and that pressure has dissipated, and it makes you wonder, maybe that's why Arizona elected to let him go. Look at what they're doing this year. They've turned their season around both offensively and defensively, and Ray Horton has come here, and the defense at the beginning of the year looked good on film, looked good on paper, but as I said, when the offense gives you a lead in the 4th quarter, especially in the last 5 minutes, and you can't close the deal, a lot of it, yes, is on the players, but you also have to wonder about the play calling from the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and maybe the good news is that he's not going to get as many looks at the head coaching position.
I don't think he'll get any.
That might be bad.
I think that's
guys, maybe you want him out of here and hope that he does get a job somewhere else, but then who do you replace him with? Right. Or is it just a case of, A, they don't have the players, and B, you need another season of continuity and trying to figure out exactly. This is the first year with him as the defensive coordinator with the 4-3, going that way, switching things around, I should say, from 4-3 to 3-4, and their so-called, what was it, the amoeba defense they used to run with a couple of the defensive coordinators in the past. So you're seeing different looks based on distance and downs and everything along those lines. So we'll have to wait and see what happens at the end of the year with Ray Horton.
Well, two guys on that defense I know would love to see Ray Horton stay would be, 1, T.J. Ward, who's playing at a Pro Bowl level, 2, Jabal Sheard, who's been reinvented in that Ray Horton defense. Those 2 guys, week in and week out, especially this last 3-4 weeks, those are the guys that are making plays on that defense.
But is T.J. Ward going to be here himself next year? That's another big question we have to look at, because on the offensive side of the ball, you got to wonder about Alex Mack. Are they going to pay him? Is he going to want to come back? And then on the defensive side, T.J. Ward, does he want to come back, or is he going to be curious to see what else is out there and get the heck out of Cleveland, because since he's been here, they haven't had a season where they lost less than 10 games to this point. I mean, think about that, guy. 6th consecutive year now that they've lost at least 10 games, 10 out of the last 11 years. I was doing some numbers for a blog that I put up, and you can read it out there at kennyrhoda.com, the Ugly Browns numbers. Guys, they haven't won a division championship since 1989 when Bernie Kosar was the quarterback. You've got to go back 24 years since they won a division championship. So some of these free agents to be may want to get the heck out of Cleveland.
Well, let me throw some numbers at you here, and these are the ones that scare me. Since the bye week, 41, 27, 32, 27, and 38 points. Now, I know it's not all on the defense, but you can't expect to win games if you can't hold someone to under even 20, 21. I'll take 21 because I don't see that in any of the last 5 games since the bye.
Yeah, those numbers are pretty staggering when you look at the defense. But here's one thing I'll say, guys, because I've seen this now with other teams throughout the NFL. Teams that can't run the football and eat clock, they turn it over to their defense, and their defense is on the field too much. The defense gets tired, and the defense is giving up points. I don't know if you watched that Dallas Packers game yesterday.
What a game.
Guys.
What a
But
game.
Dallas had that thing at hand, 26-3 at the half. DeMarco Murray was running the ball at will in the first half, and for whatever reason, they abandoned the run in the second half, and that allowed the Packers to get in it because when you throw a pass, it falls incomplete, the clock stops, and the game is elongated. Well, the Browns are doing the same thing. They can't run the football. They're on pace, and I'd have to look this up, but trying to remember some of my trivia questions that I did yesterday with all the Browns fans at JoJo's here in Medina, they're on pace maybe to have the fewest rushing yards from a running back since they came back in 1999 when I think Travis Prentice was the leading rusher with like 430 yards.
Kenny,
they can't run the football,
Kenny,
and
2
thus
rushing touchdowns
it
all
elongates
year.
the game.
2 rushing touchdowns all year. 2.
That's ridiculous. In the NFL, that's ridiculous that you can't have at least a handful, 5, at least a handful of rushing touchdowns by your quarterbacks, your running backs, your wide receivers combined to have only 2. That tells you all you need to know about their rushing offense. I was looking at the numbers here. Rushing offense, they are averaging 85 yards per game, guys. That's 27th in the league. Hard to believe there are 5 teams worse than the Browns running the football.
Well, and here's the other thing that's perplexing to me from yesterday. Edwin Baker, who no one knew even until, Thursday?
Right.
Edwin Baker. Everyone said, Baker, the touchdown maker. That's like the most overused line in the history
Well,
of
because
Baker.
the Giants had Stephen Baker.
But here's the deal. Kenny, 8 attempts, 38 yards, just under 5 yards a carry against the worst defense in the league against the rush. And then you run the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter. It is perplexing to me how these teams fall in love with the pass late when you don't need to. Run the ball, control the game, and as you said, just like Dallas yesterday.
Yeah, and I did a hit earlier in the week with the score in Chicago on radio, and they were concerned. All they wanted to ask me about was the Browns' running game because Chicago's giving up 130 or 140 yards per game on the ground, and they were concerned the Browns were going to try and shorten the game and run the ball and rack up yards like most teams have. And for whatever reason, North Turner and the Browns abandoned it, kind of like Urban Meyer, right? And
It's
the
exactly
Buckeyes
the
did
same
in
thing
that
I
game
thought
against Michigan State when they had the beast Carlos Hyde running at will. And instead of giving the ball to him, they tried to let their quarterback throw it too much and run it too much when you had an opportunity to hand it off to Carlos Hyde. The Browns did the same thing against a weak rushing defense yesterday. And I think that led to some of the defensive downfalls because the defense is out there far too long when the offense can't run some clock.
All right, Kenny, we're going to come back to you in a second. I need to ask you one question, though, and I want you to take a look at Eric, the referee, here for a second. Okay? You tell me about this sweater. What do you think of that sweater with your hat?
My hat, right now, this hat that I'm wearing is, let's say it is Stacy Keebler. That sweater is Phyllis Diller. No, they don't belong together in any way, shape, or form.
All right, Kenny, we'll check in with you a little bit. That was awesome. That was very well played. Yeah. Kenny Rhoda joining us on the Wayside Furniture Skype line. If you want to Skype in, we'll give you a T-shirt, a Dogs on the Run T-shirt. Dogs on the Run, you see it right there. Also, hashtag on Twitter, Dogs on the Run. All right, Eric, the referee with the ugly sweater. Well, how are we doing this now? Where are we going?
All right, we got Scott Nunari from the Muni Lot Browns backers. He's going to rant for a minute.
Hi, Scott. How are you? Scott, good morning to you.
That's me. Hang on. It's coming. You go.
Scott on the rotary phone. Hi, Scott.
Hello there.
Hey,
Scott.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing this morning?
All right, Scott, you're from the Muni Lot Browns backers. The Muni Lot was out in full force yesterday. I got to tell you, I was really proud of the Browns fans that were at the game, and it was really, when I had to leave in the third quarter, the Muni Lot was absolutely packed yesterday. So bravo to all the Browns fans that were at the game yesterday.
Well, thank you. It certainly was enjoyable. It's still the best thing to do in Cleveland.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you 60 seconds. Eric, can we fire this up on the clock or no? Yep, we got the clock. All right, here comes the clock. That is our very high-tech clock.
Very high-tech.
That we used from, what website is it? Timeronline.net. Yep. Want to thank our friends there.
Thank you.
Scott, we want you to rant for 60 seconds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, good morning, everybody. First, another fine day was had, regardless of the Browns and their results. 3:15 a.m., we departed on the bus with a good dozen of my closest friends that are able to get up that early and get going. So we arrived down at the Muni lot at 4 o'clock. By 4:10, we're already enjoying our adult beverages and sitting back with the rest of the people who were in line, which back at that point, we only had about a half a dozen in front of us in line. Now, they don't even open up the lot early anymore, as you know, so there's the party before the party that goes from about 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock when they open it up, and we're sitting and enjoying everybody's company at that point. Now, we get into the lot about 7 o'clock, not quite as full as it would be on opening day, as you can understand. I mean, it is the last game of the season with a whole bunch of snow. But overall, like you said, a good turnout, a lot of Bear fans showing up to party with us, and actually had a pretty good time partying with the Bears folks. It's hard to develop a hate for somebody not in your division, of course, right?
Absolutely.
So we get into join it with the Bears fans. Are you kidding? That's a minute already.
That was a minute already. Do you, is there, if you have a major point to make it. Go ahead.
The only major point I'll make is you can't control the way your team plays. It's hard to keep them motivated when they know they're not in it, but you can control how hard you party. And when it comes down to it, like usual in Cleveland, Super Bowl champions of the tailgating scene.
There you go. Nice job, Scott. All right, Scott, hang on the line. I don't know if they got you hooked up with a T-shirt, but you're getting one. Thanks, Scott.
All right.
All right, hang on.
Put you on hold there. You're all good. All right, and if you've got a rant, we'd love to give you a shirt. 216-431-3820 or Dogs on the Run on Skype. And, of course, we'd rather hear from you on Skype, which seems pretty good. Eric, are we going to be able to I just want to check in real quick with you right here on the Eric cam. Are you talking to someone?
We're all set. Thank you, man.
Yeah, he's setting up Scott with his T-shirt.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Good job with the T-shirt. Are we going to be able to go back to the newsroom at all? Do you know Chris Horn?
I will get in contact with Chris Horn. I think we should at first play the Dogs on the Run, or
Angry Browns
Backer.
fan?
Yep, Angry Browns fan. Volume 2 of Christmas songs. Let me preface it by saying the first one did 700,000, I think, in the first week. 700,000 page views. Got on SportsIllustrated.com, USAToday.com, NFL Network. So you guys are seeing the debut of the second one that you guys sent in.
Okay, so here's the second one. This is it. By the way, you can win Eric's sweater today, too.
Yes.
If you call him, we're giving that sweater away. It's actually his mom.
Make this into a Christmas song, and we'll
Make
give
it
you a
into
sweater
a-
and a T-shirt.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Angry